Throughout the years, one certain breed of dog has received plenty of negative attention from the media and public. If you do not already have an idea of which breed I am referring to, the breed is the Pitbull. I, along with several other family members, have all owned numerous Pitbulls, and they are one of the greatest dogs you can have as a pet. They are one of the greatest breeds of dogs I have owned because they are so sweet, protective, and active. Pitbulls are also one of the top high scorers when it comes to a temperament behavioral test, and here is the list of the dogs that have scored below the Pitbull, which include German Shepherds, Dachshunds, and Doberman Pinschers. After my experience with Pitbulls firsthand, I find it outrageous that there's so much controversy and misconception when it comes to them. This is why I firmly believe Pitbulls have received an unfair amount of negative attention, and I am hoping to change your viewpoints towards them. Many people have owned or may have family members that have owned Pitbulls and will agree with the fact they are a misunderstood breed. Also, many people may be interested in looking for a new companion, yet with their reputation, people may avoid those breeds. I hope to change the attitude and perception individuals may have towards Pitbulls by my own experience and valuable persuasive points. Throughout my speech, I will be describing the misconception Pitbulls have received over the years due to the media. I will be discussing how infamous Pitbull attacks have caused the misconception, which could have been prevented, how many Pitbull attacks have been caused by them, and how many attacks have been caused by another breed. Let us now begin with how the media has played a huge role in how people perceive Pitbulls as a dangerous breed. For years throughout the nation, the media has been extremely biased to the reports of Pitbull attacks. According to Mike Bailey, founder of Good for Dogs, stated during an interview in 2010 that animal control officers in the United States have stated that when they alert the media of a dog attack, there are responses that they have no interest in reporting on that specific incident unless it involves a pit bull. Headlines are quick to shout statements as well, such as "Pitbull kills child in backyard," but if the attacker had been another dog, such as a lab or a Dalmatian or other breed, the headline would likely only say "Dog attacks child." Adam Goldfarb of the Humane Society of the United States believes there's hope and states, "We often forget there are pit bulls who are therapy dogs, guide, and search and rescue dogs. So I'd love to see more about those pit bulls rather than the ones that get lost among dog attack stories." Over a 4-day period of new articles being reported of dog attacks every day for 3 days, 3 attacks occurred by other breeds of dogs, and the media decided to only report it twice within those news articles. On the 4th day, there was an attack by a pit bull, and it was reported in over 230 articles. Now, it is apparent the media is biased towards pit bulls. However, amongst their news articles, none of which discuss what may cause the pit bull to attack or what could have prevented it. There are plenty of factors that may cause a pit bull to attack, from being provoked to defending themselves, as well as ways to prevent these attacks. I believe there is no such thing as a bad dog, just a bad owner. A Baltimore Sun news reporter stated in her article, "I know that an untrained and unsocialized dogs can be biters, regardless of breed, but until we begin to hold all dog owners responsible for their pets' behaviors and focus on their responsible ownerships and training, we will continue to have dog attacks," which I couldn't agree more with. Captain Bill Verdon of the San Diego Humane Society stated during an interview, "It takes a special person to raise a pit bull properly and securely. In the wrong hands, they're a ticking time bomb," as he also states. The nonprofit organization Bad Rap, which educates individuals over pit bull attacks, states that dogs that bite people are typically troubled individuals set up by irresponsible and or reckless owners who've ignored or disregarded warning signs. According to them, biting dogs have been set up to be failured by improper handling, abuse, and or damaged genetics. Every breed of dog, not just pit bulls, are capable of attacking, whether it is a self-defense or the owner may have mistreated the dog and introduced it into a fighting world. People tend to believe that pit bulls are the only type of dogs to attack people, but in reality, there are hundreds of attacks caused by another breed of dog that either go unreported or not reported enough. There are also possibilities that other dogs can be more harmful and more aggressive than pit bulls. The National Canine Temperament Testing Association is a good example of these statements. They have stated that the Golden Retriever, Poodles, Border Collies, and numerous other breeds are considered more likely to become more vicious than Pitbulls. News reporter Laura Basham wrote an article over an innocent man who was attacked by a police dog that would not let go of its lockjaw, even after its command, and had to get 16 stitches, yet it was not nearly as publicized through the media. In the book Tracking and the Art of Seeing by Paul Resendez, the Humane Society of the United States reported that a young woman was mauled to death by another female's 2 English Mastiffs and Canary Island fighting dogs when at their apartment complex. The Canary Island fighting dogs were so dangerous in the 1930s they were outlawed in their origin, Spain. These dogs are no longer publicized in today's society, whereas everything is targeted at pit bulls now. With situations and attacks like these, I do not understand why people emphasize on just pit bulls in particular, when it's obvious that other breeds of dogs are also capable of attacks, which could lead to death eventually. First, I discussed the misconceptions the media has portrayed to the public pertaining to pit bulls. Then I went over what could cause a pit bull to attack and how something as simple as treating the dog better could prevent any attack. Lastly, I discussed how other dogs can attack too, not just pit bulls, and how brutal the attacks can be. It's apparent that the media influences the public to look down on such a beautiful breed, which makes individuals somewhat blind to other dogs and the attacks that they are capable of as well. Many people will either have their own perspective towards pit bulls. However, after owning multiple pit bulls of that breed in the past, I know firsthand they are some of the greatest guard dogs you could have. I am hoping my speech has provided a new insight and has changed your viewpoint towards pit bulls, a misunderstood breed.